Okay, so right now, and it's been this way for a while, I'm on beta server and just showing you the date here. It's November the 6th. I'm in Drusvar. I'm doing the invasion and it's awarding conquest because I'm in war mode. At this point in time in the beta, you can still go back and do BFA invasions and get conquest. Is that intended? I don't know. I mean, we're not that far away from launch. It's been this way for a long time. And right now you can see, because there was a wipe on Honor and Conquest a while ago, I've done a few of these and it says I have 35. Of course, you know, what's in the tooltips might not be actually what's happening in the game. When I go to the currency tab though, it says I have Honor, but I have no Conquest on the currency tab. Right, even though here it's saying I have 35 Conquest. And I'm going to go to the vault now, because the vault also tells you how much Conquest you have. If it's working, sometimes it's bugged where it doesn't even work. So first I have to port to Venthyr and then fly over to Oribos. So I'll come back when that is done. It should be showing that I have 35 conquest in the vault. Okay, here's the vault. And this is if the UI is even working. Sometimes UI bugs. It's showing I have 0 conquest. So that conquest that I was getting before from doing the invasion, it actually worked in the vault. So what I'm going to guess is that they have separated it, and that's BFA conquest. And, oh, that's probably why they wiped the honor. So a while back ago, they wiped honor and conquest that you had on your character, and that's probably why that happened. Is because I guess it was a collected pool, but now they've separated it. So those invasions are probably giving you quote-unquote BFA conquest. And now there is a Shadowlands conquest. And I have 0 Shadowlands conquest. And I will continue to have 0 Shadowlands conquest in the beta because you can't, you know, there's only arena skirmishes which are bugged, so I don't think anybody's doing those, and it's been bugged for like, what, 2 weeks now, so people aren't doing them. And here's what happens if you, well, actually, I guess I've been in a queue. Anytime you queue up for random BGs, you're not going to see an estimated time. And the reason why is because they're not running. So no estimated time means they're not running. If I continued to let this go, it'd probably be like 9 hours, and I would still not have a BG. So I can't get conquest from the BGs. I can't get conquest from arena. You can no longer, you used to be able to, you can no longer get conquest by going back and doing BFA invasions, which makes sense. I was thinking that had to be a bug where I could go back and do that, but it seems like they fixed that. The systems, the conquest upgrade system has been totally untestable. You cannot test this system on beta. Cannot be tested. I'm not sure what the intake of conquest is going to be. There should be some world PvP challenge things out here. I didn't see any when I looked through this earlier. But there's supposed to be some which give you conquest. But I don't know. I don't see any. Here's something that gives you honor. Right, it gives you honor but not conquest, and only 50 honor. Alright, this one gives you honor. They've changed the icon for some of these things. It looks like maybe they've changed what they're doing completely, because there used to be these other things called challenges or something. But I'm not seeing any of those. Now see, this one's not honor. This one's a regular PvE one. So the icon's a little bit different. I think this is bigger. Yeah, and see how that's smaller? So that's a PvP thing. And this is a PvE thing, even though they look similar. And I'm not seeing any of those challenge things that they used to have. They were kind of like zone-wide challenges, like 25 alliance slain, 25 horde slain. Whoever reaches the max, in that zone gets some reward. And there was one where orbs spawned in different locations, and you needed to take it to a drop-off location. So, and this is across the zone, so you're like trying to carry it over. You can't mount or anything, and you can get attacked. But those might have been removed completely, because I'm not seeing them there. Seems weird that they would have that in and just didn't completely give up on it. And why give up on it? Because participation in doing those was almost zero. I mean, I saw them where there was points being accumulated, but I go out and look for people, and I can never find anybody. I never found anybody to kill in World PvP for those events.
All goods and services for sale.
So here's something. I think these just give honor now. All right, so this one is, I'm going to guess this is a weekly quest. Oh, it gives Conquest too. So this has changed. So what do? Obtain Conquest in arenas. So you get a certain amount of Conquest in arenas, and it rewards you more Conquest. Well, hold on now. Okay. I mean, come on, Blizzard. You see a hover over that and it says the 35 Conquest there? That's the 35 Conquest that I just got from going over and doing the invasion in BFA. And this Conquest is in the same pool of that. But that Conquest didn't count towards my weekly chest. And it doesn't show up here either. Or it doesn't show up. I have no Conquest here. Which is why I don't have any Conquest displaying for the weekly chest. But this quest is rewarding the old Conquest that doesn't count anymore, I guess. But you see, I can guarantee you I'm probably the only person that's even run across this, because nobody is testing this stuff. Nobody. You can't test the Conquest system. Why would anybody even look at this? So, okay, so now this one is with the total that I have there, the 295, 725. So that honor is in the correct pool. But this Conquest is not in the correct pool. This seems to me like this should have been something that had been worked out, by this point in time. Because what I wanted to do is I wanted to check, because you can buy items for Conquest from the vendor. And if you can accumulate Conquest at a reasonable rate, then it might be actually faster to buy an item for Conquest from the vendor than it would to buy an item for honor from the vendor and then accumulate all the honor that you need to upgrade it to the same item level as the item that you could buy for Conquest, you see? So it might actually take less time to buy that 190 Conquest item with Conquest than it actually takes to buy the same item slot for honor and then upgrade it with honor. It might take less time to do that if you have enough Conquest sources. But I can't test that. It's impossible to test. I mean, here you go, beta server. It's supposed to be for testing. It's supposed to be for beta testing. But they have systems in place that are impossible to test. You cannot test it. They have made it such that you cannot test it.
Remember, everything is...
You see, this Conquest gear you can buy for Conquest. Oh, and look. Look. It's the 35 that I got from the BFA invasion.
All goods and services.
Okay, so back to this. So that's, and again, I'm going to think that this is a weekly. Again, I can't test it. Nobody can test it. But I think it's a weekly. And it would give you 500, right, honor for doing that, and 100 Conquest. So those have changed recently, by the way. And here's observing battles, the same thing. Obtain honor in random battlegrounds, get 500 honor, 100 conquest. Oh, well maybe it'll show me how much I need if I accept it, right?
Until our
Using my
next
big brain.
transaction.
Yeah, so observing arena, you need to earn 250 conquest in arenas to get that reward. And the other one, where did it go? Here it is. Earn 1500 honor in random battlegrounds to get that reward. So just from doing that, you'll have, well, you'll have the 250 conquests that you need to get from the arena, plus 200 more from those two quests. So that's 450 conquest right there, which you would say is a weekly,
May I tempt
right? 105 per day from the BG dailies, not including a brawl, right? Times 7. So that is 735 per week, right? But in the process of doing that, you're almost certainly going to complete this 1500 honor in random battlegrounds. So we can add in 100 conquests there. And you're at 835 per week without doing a brawl in a brawl week, without doing any extra BG wins beyond the daily first win, and without getting any conquest sources from World PvP. This is a minimum of what you could get without doing rated, right? Without doing rated content. So you're talking about 835, right? But let's say you do go ahead and bite the bullet if you hate arenas, and you get the 250 conquest in arenas, then you'll get the 100 conquest added onto that, so you could add 350 to this for 1,185 as a weekly target. Again, you can get that higher if you do more arenas, or if you do more battlegrounds, or if there's a brawl, or if there's some world PvP sources of conquest. So you could consider this a minimum, right? 1,185. I think it's safe to assume that you could get that to 1,200, reasonably. So 1,200 conquest a week, let's say. Think that's safe to say, right? Would everybody agree? 1,200 conquest a week? Seems reasonable. So what are the costs over here? Well, let's take the cheapest things.
May I tempt you with my wares?
Oh, look. Those are conduits, but here, 1,200 conquest. You have a lot of items here that you can buy for 1,200. And that's how much you can get a week, based on what I was just showing there. Let's just take the ring as an example. So I spend a week getting conquest and not really, doing extraordinary grinding, just kind of doing the minimum. And I would have 1,200 conquest to buy this ring in a week. That's 190 item level. So here's the question.
Your patronage is
How much
all
time
nourished.
is it going to
I
take
offer
you
only the finest.
to buy that same ring with honor and then upgrade it to 190 with honor? Again, you can upgrade it to 197, but I want to compare 190 to 190. How long is that going to take? It's going to take longer than a week. Even if the time gate on Renown was removed, it would take longer than a week. The honor gear system here is just extremely poorly thought out. It should be temporary gear. Why put a huge time investment on gear that's intended to be a temporary stepping stone? So here is what they should have done with the honor gear. It should be a one-time purchase only. Its item level should be somewhere between crafted gear and conquest gear. So crafted gear, the first tier crafted gear at 60 is 151. The second tier, Crafters Mark II, is 168. Or if you don't want to put it that much higher than crafted gear, just make it 170. So 170 to 180 gear, I think would be totally reasonable. Better than crafted, worse than conquest first step.